Hello and assalamu alaikum. Today we're gonna start off with the motivational theorist. But before we start, we have to look at the two types of theorists. There are content theorists and process theorists. Content theorists consider what motivates people and are concerned with individual needs and goals. The ones in our syllabus are Taylor, Mayo, Maslow, and Hezberg. They are also process theorists, which examine the process of motivation and are concerned with how motivation occurs. The ones in our syllabus are Virum and McClelland. So, in our today's video, we're going to talk about Taylor, Mayo, and Hezberg. Hopefully, we're going to cover them all. So, let's start. The first one we have is F.W. Taylor, whose theory was about scientific management. The results of a study can be summarized as follows. Motivation is an external factor achieved through money. Uh, yeah, achieved through money. Employees should be closely supervised and paid with piece rate system. Work should be broken down into simple processes, and more money is paid, which will increase the levels of productivity an employee will achieve. Basically, Taylor had this theory, his scientific management theory said that money is the main form of motivator. He said that money is what motivates all employees, it is the main form of motivation. So he just implemented this piece rate system where it was just a payment system where you will get paid for the number of units you produce. There was a fixed price of producing per unit. Let's say $5 per unit. If you produce 1 unit, you will get $5. So it or your overall salary depended on the number of units you produce. So because of that, many employees started working fast, they were efficient, and the productivity increased, and because of that, the number of units produced also increased. However, of course, the quality was compromised, and people rushed to make the quantity, so quality suffered, and not all employees were happy with it because they were treated like machines, and some didn't some didn't improve the work because they just had set up certain targets that okay, as long as we reach so and so units we are fine, so they don't rush as much as others, while there were others who needed some other form of motivation, like their own needs or some other things, not money was not the main motivation for many people, which was not what Taylor thought that money was the main motivation, and his studies proved that. So employees should be closely supervised and paid with PC system. We also said that in order to look at, they should not only be paid money, but they should also be closely supervised, so that okay, the quality is also in check. But that is also not too much possible. You can't have so much quality check, otherwise it will be costly to the business. And work should be broken down into simple processes, and more money is paid, which will increase the levels of productivity an employee will achieve. That he will said that if you with his preset system, he believed that more money will be paid to the employees, and as more money will be paid, they will be more productive at the work. But that was not always true, as there was drawbacks in his study. His study does not take into account non-financial motivators, because are other, not all people are just happy with money. There are some who want some other things like social needs or psychological needs, any other things, not just money. His ideas is, as they say, that money can't buy everything, so that's what actually the non-financial motivators are. Like, you can't just buy everything with money, right? His ideas resulted in workers endlessly completing monotonous tasks. They were treated as machines. There was no guarantee of productivity rise if you pay more. Like, even if you pay more, it doesn't necessarily mean that the productivity will rise. Some are just lazy workers. They just set up, okay, if we make a certain amount of units, we'll get our required money. We'll be able to like get our own needs, fulfill our needs, like shelter, food, home, etc. That's enough for us, so we're only gonna work up to that number of units. We're not gonna produce anything else, and quality may suffer when workers try to rush to produce more. So these were the drawbacks to his method. So yeah, Taylor is only the one that who said that money was the main motivator, and others did not agree with him. But his work was important as it was the first motivation theory, and it led to the others starting their work. Then there's Elton Mayo, I don't know what his full name is, but yeah, the Mayo part is sure. Uh, His theory was Hawthorne effect. What Mayo did was that instead of that, he believed that money was not the main motivator. He believed that working conditions were employed. Like if you improve the working conditions, your employees will also be motivated and they'll work hard. So he tried to work on this motivation. He tried to fix the lighting system, to have proper lighting system, proper working conditions for the employees. He tried it again and again. He saw that it didn't have much effect on the productivity. But instead, what he saw was that because of the lighting system, he somehow unwantedly, he wasn't expecting that, but he got them to work at teams. The employees were working in teams because he didn't wanted it directly, but he didn't had much of choice because of the lighting system or working conditions. They were just put into teams, and he saw that when employees were put into teams, their productivity increased. It wasn't that he was testing the team working; he was testing the lighting conditions. But this point, he just somehow noticed that okay, my lighting system wasn't having some effect, but this team working is having the effect, and that the supervision, that the attention that was provided to those particular employees, that had an effect on their productivity. So he believed that there are certain social needs which, when fulfilled, will improve motivation. That was the basic idea behind Mayo's study. So the results of the study can be summarized as follows. Friendly supervision should be adopted. When management consult with workers and take interest in their work, their motivation is improved. So when you are when you are looking after your employees, you are consulting them. Okay, is there anything else you need? If you need some other work, let me know, and stuff like that. You're just engaging with them. You are being social with them, socially active with them. There's a friendly supervision, not just a strict supervision. It's a friendly supervision, so their social needs are improved, social needs are met, and their motivation is improved. Team working can also improve productivity. There are informal groups can be created with social and sporting facilities. So if these facilities are provided, then informal groups can be created, and when these groups are created, there's also team working also increases. Team working also exists in groups. So when informal groups are created, team working is created, and when team working is created, it means that the productivity has improved generally. There are also some control over their working pattern. Employees want some control over their working pattern, such as the number of working hours they work or the break time they take, as it results in increased motivation. If employees are given this authority, they are able to select the number of working hours they want, the break time that they want, then the motivation will increase. That was the results of Mayo's study. So what was the overall summary is that he wanted friendly supervision should be adopted, team working should be provided, and there should be some control over the working pattern of employees. Employees should be given some control over their working pattern. Moving on, we have Hezberg, whose two-factor theory. Basically, Hezberg proposed that there are two factors related to motivation: hygiene factors and motivators. Now, hygiene factors are related to aspect of worker's job that may have the potential to give dissatisfaction if absent, not provided. However, their presence would not lead to motivation. So basically, hygiene factors were just some factors that if they are not there, then the employee should be dissatisfied. But if they are present, it won't have much of an effect on motivation. So basically, if they are absent, then that means your employee will be demotivated. But if they are present, the employees won't be motivated. For motivation, there are some other factors, but these are some factors that should be there in order to prevent demotivation. These consist of payment, working conditions, status, and type of supervision. These are seen as lower order needs by Maslow. Maslow also said these are in his hierarchy of needs. He also discussed these, and he saw them as lower order needs. These are the lower order needs that are first fulfilled, and after that the higher order needs are fulfilled. These can also be described as extrinsic factors that surround a job. These need to be addressed by management in order to prevent dissatisfaction through focusing on job environment. You have to focus on the job environment, the working conditions, the payment that you are giving them, and the status, so that they are not demotivated. If there's poor working condition, they will be demotivated. If they don't have enough payment, the payment you're providing is below national average annual income, then that means that they won't be happy with it. They'll be dissatisfied. But if you are giving them average income and they are okay, good working condition, then they're not motivated by it, but they are not dissatisfied either. They are just in a neutral state, you can say. So how do you move them a little step ahead? Well, these are that you can do by motivation factors. These are the second set of factors that Herzberg identified, and they need to be addressed in order to motivate employees. Their absence will not cause direct dissatisfaction. Hygiene factors causes dissatisfaction, but their absence will mean a neutral situation, but their presence will mean a positive situation for the business. These are intrinsic factors. Those were extrinsic factors, while these are intrinsic factors like achievement, recognition, responsibility, advancement, and work itself. All these are the factors, the motivation factors. These are seen as higher order needs that need to be fulfilled to improve motivation. Those were lower order needs as seen by Maslow, and these are higher order needs as seen by Maslow that need to be fulfilled to improve motivation. To increase motivation, the basic idea behind motivators, the motivation factors, is that you have to focus on the job itself. The employers have to focus on the job itself. For hygiene factors, you have to focus on the job environment to prevent dissatisfaction. But if you want to improve motivation of the employees, then you have to focus on the job itself. That was the basic idea behind Herzberg's two-factor theory. Now, there's one more remaining, that is Abraham Maslow hierarchy of needs, but it's a long thing, so we're going to discuss that in a separate video along with the other theorists. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and Allah Hafiz.